This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So I gotta put this up so my instructor can read it. I love how it's gonna be backwards. All right. Thank you guys for coming. My name is Jacob Mills, and my speech is going to be on orcas killing great whites for their liver. Ooh. All right. All right. So, introduction. Cape Cod and Nantucket is not the best place that you would think of, or the first place you would think of when talking about orcas, also known as killer whales, demon fish, all that other stuff, right? But with the uprising numbers of attacks on great whites, orcas are moving into areas associated with great whites. Flynn, 2022. My thesis was orcas killing great whites for their livers. My importance of the topic is to inform and discuss how this movement or this change in movement and behavior with orcas could have a drastic change and effect to our ecosystem. A preview of some of my main points. Today we are going to explore reasoning behind orcas killing great whales and behaviors of both orcas and great whites. Orcas are dynamic hunters and strategists. Orcas are primarily in colder water. Why? The reason is that they go and follow their prey. So you can see that in their migrational pattern, that they go into colder water because that's where the majority of their prey is. Elephant seals, baby whales, gray whales, and so on. Orcas stay in pods, but on rare occasions, you'll see a solitary orca, which is normally a male. And it's kind of crazy because one was videoed off the coast of Cape Cod, 40 miles east of Nantucket, Flynn 2022, which scares a lot of conservatives when it comes to these encounters that are going from, warmer waters where great whites are getting attacked by orcas. Now orcas are going into associated areas of great whites. Orcas hunt in pods because there's greater results in catching their prey by the numbers that they have. It also is greatly increased with their strategies and hunting techniques. They move and attack and live like a pack of wolves, one conservative said. McCall 2017. Now that we know a little bit about orcas, let's dive into some great whites. Great white sharks are true apex predators. Great whites are primarily in warmer waters. Why? Due to the massive quantity of food that they have to consume to stay alive. And that's where their primary prey is. Seals, sea lions, yeah. Great whites have been seen by trackers in, that was not 5 minutes, by the way. Trackers going into cold waters, but for brief periods of time. And that's been associated with them going after certain types of prey that they've been stalking for a long time, but eventually they get too cold and they come back to warmer water. Great whites are extremely fearful of orcas. They will desert their feeding grounds if there's an orca sighting or attack, and sometimes will not return return for a year. That's how crazy their senses are. They can still sense even if they're not there anymore, so they try not to go back. Sparks 2020. So we now know both orcas and great whites. Let's get into the meat of the speech that everybody wants to hear and learn about. Orcas killing great whites. So this situation has been rare in the past. The first documentation or documented incident of orcas attacking great whites happened in October 1997 near Farallon Island off of the coast of San Francisco. Two orcas were caught pursuing a great white before eating its liver by tourists in a whale watching boat. Thomas 2017. More recently, conservationists working in South America have noticed an increase in number of orca on shark attacks. So they increased the orca observation in the area since 2009. Thomas 2017. There was 5 great white sharks washed up in Ganzabini, South America, with suspicious looking wounds in 2017. Orcas were the prime suspect. And here's why. Quote, they all had the same distinct bite marks on the pectoral fins of the dead sharks, which were evenly spaced in circular tooth impressions, which were finally identified as most likely to be a flat-toothed killer whale. I was trying to find more about flat tooth, but I guess it was one of the orcas that they were tracking that they nicknamed because some of his teeth were flat. That literally, this is the only thing that I could find on that thing, which is rare in coastal waters. Knock and Edelbreck, 2019. The orcas grabbed the great white by the pectoral fins and ripping open the body cavity to get the liver. It is to say, scientists say that the liver is in a great white is very slippery, and so literally all they have to do is go in, it slides right out. So next orca to come up gets it, I guess. So they ripped open the body cavity to get the liver. Out of 5 of the sharks that washed up on the beach, 1 was missing its heart and testicles, which those aren't my words, those are scientists' words. The liver of a great white accounts for 1/3 of its weight and is highly rich in fat and nutrients that orcas seek out. Towner, 2017. To draw a parallel transition or a parallel comparison, transient orcas are currently preying on gray whale calves off the coast of California, the port of Monterey. Orcas are separating the calves from its mother. Then once that happens, they drown it. Then orcas will remove the tongue before dining on the blubber of the baby. Towner, 2017. Conclusion. My thesis was orcas killing great white sharks. Today we went into the world of the orcas and the great whites. I explained the behaviors and the outcomes of what mostly happens when these massive apex predators are in the same area. And it sucks to say, because I'm a huge fan of great whites, that great whites are normally the losers. In conclusion, if orcas keep killing great whites, our ecosystem will go crazy in the warmer climates due to the fact that the orcas are rarely there and there is no more great whites to keep down this substantial ecosystem. It would cause a huge wreck, which would knock the entire thing out of balance. Thank you. And that's the end of my speech.
Nicely done.